Hello everyone. I hope you enjoyed learning with me in the previous semester, and I also hope that you all geared up for this semester. The first topic for today is non-finite verbs. We'll be looking as to what exactly non-finite verbs are, how are these different from the finite verbs, how would you differentiate between a finite and a non-finite verb, and then we'll move to discussing the various types of non-finite verbs. Let's begin. The flow of this video will be, first we'll be discussing the differences between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. Next, we'll move on to discussing the types of non-finite verbs, which are infinitives, gerunds, and participles. And then we'll start with infinitives, the types of infinitives, that is simple, gerundial, and bare. Also, we'll be discussing the exceptions and followed by examples. Now, the very first question that should come in your mind is what is a finite verb and what is a non-finite verb? We've done verbs in the previous semester wherein we actually did not discuss anything about the two terms that you see here, that is finite and non-finite. Now, to have this clarity between the kind of verbs that we have, finite verb is that verb which changes its form when you change the number or the person of the subject, or if at all you change the tense of the sentence. For instance, if you read this example, it says Madhur plays football. So what is the verb here? Verb is plays. Madhur plays football. Who is playing football? Madhur is playing. Madhur is singular. Now, if I change the number, means if I change it from singular to plural, we will then see as to whether our verb changes or not. So verb here is plays. If I change the number, maybe I put it as Madhur and Akanksha. Now I've changed it to plural. There are two people now. Madhur and Akanksha play football. Always with plural subjects, we have a verb that does not have an S or an ES. So Madhur and Akanksha play football. Now if you see, the form of verb has changed. Earlier it was plays, now it is play. Likewise, if I change the person of this particular sentence, person would mean first person, second person, or third person pronouns. So if I change it from third person to second person, suppose say you. So you play football. Again, that plays as a verb has changed to play. Change in tense. If I change the tense of the sentence, first we'll try to find out what is the tense of this sentence. Madhur plays football is present indefinite. If I change this present indefinite to any other tense, for example, suppose I change it to past continuous. Continuous would mean it'll have ing with the verb. Past would mean we'll be using the word was or were depending upon the number. Because the number is singular here, therefore I will have Madhur was playing football. Again, if you notice, the verb plays has changed from plays to playing. If I change the tense from present indefinite to past continuous. Likewise, if I change it to any other tense, say for example past indefinite, if I change it into, it will be Madhur played football. Now again, plays has changed to played. So from this we infer that whenever we have any verb in a sentence, and if that verb changes in form with the change in number or person of its subject, or with the change in the tense of the sentence, then that particular verb will be termed as a finite verb. Coming to the non-finite verbs, the opposite of finite verbs will be non-finite verbs. The verbs which changed with number, person, or tense were finite. So the verbs that do not change with the change in number, person, or tense will be termed as non-finite verb. Madhur wants to play football. Now if I change the number from Madhur to from singular to plural, change in number, Madhur and Akanksha want to play football. Now here we will first identify that this particular sentence has how many kind of words. First verb that you have is wants, second is play. Of the two, that is wants and play, one is finite and the other is not finite. We'll have to then find out which one is finite and which one is not. If I change the number, the sentence became Madhur and Akanksha want to play football. Now, if you compare this sentence with the previous sentence had the verb wants. This sentence has it as want. Now, because this verb is changing its form with the change in number, we will say that want here is a finite verb. Likewise, if I have a look at the word play, initially also it was play, now also it is play. So it is not changing the form when I change it from singular to plural. Therefore, I can infer from here that play is a non-finite verb. Now, if I change the person from third to say second again, it will be you want to play football. You want to play football. Want has again changed from wants to want. Play hasn't changed. If I change the tense, maybe I change it to past indefinite. Madhur wanted to play football. Now wants become wanted. Play is intact. Madhur will want to play football. I've changed it to future indefinite, simple future. So it becomes Madhur will want to play football. Want again has changed from wants to want, but play is the same. Therefore, from here we can infer that any particular verb in a sentence that does not change when you change the number, when you change the person, or when you change the tense of the sentence, then that verb which does not change is termed as a non-finite verb. All these non-finite verbs that we have, these are termed as verbals. In short, we can always call them verbals. What are verbals? Verbals are those verbs that act as some other part of speech. So if I have this example, mother wants to play football. If I say that verbals act as some other part of speech, play here acts as an activity. It is acting as a noun. Therefore, I can say that these are verbals. Types of non-finite verbs. We have three types of non-finite verbs. Infinitives. These generally will have the word to before the verb. These are of three types: simple, gerundial, bare. Then we have the second type of non-finite verb, which is gerund. And the third type of non-finite verb is participle. Participle also can be divided into two categories: present participle and past participle. Let us first discuss infinitives that are simple in nature. That is simple infinitive. For any kind of infinitive that is a simple infinitive, we will have the form as to plus the verb. Simple infinitive will be that infinitive which is used as a noun. Having said that, infinitives uh, or gerunds or participles, these are verbals and they act as some other part of speech. So we will have to justify that statement, and with every kind of type that we do, we'll have to define as to this particular type acts as which part of speech and not verb. Therefore, simple infinitives in a sentence will act as noun. How are they acting as noun? For example, if I read this first sentence that is written, to read is a good habit. So it is to read is a good habit. What is a good habit? To read. Now, read in general is a verb. Reading is an activity. But here, if I change anything in the sentence, that is person, number, or for that matter, the tense, this particular read word will not change. To read was a good habit. To read will always be a good habit. So read word does not change. So therefore it is a non-finite verb, and in non-finite it is an infinitive because it is following the verb to, the word to. So to read is a good habit. Because reading here is acting as an activity, therefore, and name of any activity is noun. Therefore, read here is acting as a noun. So it is acting as a subject. To find fault is easy. Again, find. is following the word to, therefore it is an infinitive. It does not change when I change the tense, therefore it becomes infinitive, that is a verbal or a non-finite verb. And how is it acting as a subject here? Subject would here mean noun, because subject is something that is doing the action, that is taking the important place in a sentence. Again, if I use it as an object to verb, that is, it is defining in a way the verb. Object is something that receives the action. So, I like to play. What do I like? I like to play. Play again is an infinitive because it is following the word to. And here it is the infinitive to play is acting as an object to verb. Verb is like, so it is receiving that particular verb. He likes to read. Again, read here becomes the object to verb likes. His greatest pleasure is to swim. To swim. Swim again becomes infinitive because it is following the word to, and here it is acting as a complement to verb. How is it acting as a complement? Complement to verb means it gives something that gives verbs a perfect nature. So his greatest pleasure, what is his pleasure? To swim. So pleasure in a way is acting as a verb here. His intention is to sing. Intention is acting as a verb here. It is acting as a complement to the action, which is sing. The second type of infinitives are gerundial infinitives. Gerundial infinitives are those which act as either adjective or adverb. Adjective will mean they will try to give you a quality of a noun. Adverb will mean they will try to modify an adjective, a verb, or an adverb itself. Examples: we eat to live. Why do we live? We eat to live. Eat here is a verb. So this particular to live is trying to give more meaning to the word eat. Therefore, it is acting as a gerundial infinitive. This wine is pleasant to drink. It is modifying an adjective. What is an adjective here? Pleasant. So pleasant, what is pleasant? Wine is pleasant. Wine is a noun, pleasant is an adjective, and this particular infinitive to drink is adding more quality to pleasant. Therefore, it becomes an infinitive that is acting as an adjective. The third type of infinitives that we have are bare infinitives. These infinitives do not use the word to. In general, infinitives will be those verbals that follow the word to, but bare infinitives will not follow the word to. And because they're not following verbs, the word to, therefore these will be used with auxiliary modals that we have. So modals means that have a different kind of an expression: shall, will, must, dare, could, might, need, can, may, should. All these words, they are expressing some meaning. Any word that expresses some meaning alongside being a verb are known as modals. And whenever we are using the infinitives with modals, we will not be using the word to with them. For example, I should write. He must write. I can do it. We do not use the word to with any kind of modals except for ought and used. Whenever you have the modals like ought or used, you will have to use to with them. I ought to go. I used to play cricket in the morning. So barring these two, ought and used, we will be not using the word to with the infinitives when it comes to using bare infinitives. How will you identify bare infinitive? They will always be having a modal in them. All right. So in active voice, what is an active voice? I'll give you a sentence. I am teaching you. Whenever you have an active voice sentence, subject, that is the doer of the action, is given more importance, therefore takes the first position in the sentence. Object, which is the receiver of the action, is given less importance, therefore is given the latter position. So I am teaching you. Who's teaching? I am teaching. Who's doing the action? I am doing the action. Therefore I becomes the subject. So whenever you have an active voice, the syntax of that particular sentence will be first the subject, followed by the verb, and finally the object. When I have a passive voice sentence, the structure will change. In passive voice, we give more importance to the object, to the receiver of the action. So if I have the very same sentence in passive voice, I will put it as, you are being taught by me. I am not giving myself more importance here, rather I'm giving the receiver more importance. Therefore, you are being taught by me. So whenever this is passive voice. So active voice means subject, verb, object. Passive voice will mean object, verb, subject. Whenever I have an active voice sentence, in that case, to is not used with the words hear, see, make, feel, watch, and know. So these are certain words with which you will not use the word to in active voice. I heard her sing. I watch her go. She made me fool. These words heard, watch, and make, or any other form of make, made, will not be using to whenever you're using these words in active voice. Again, to is not used after the word let. I let her sleep. Let me work. Let him come. Let them play. So we'll not be having the word to after the word let. And to is not used in negative and interrogative means with need and dare. Negative means a negative meaning, interrogative means a question asking thing. So to is not used in negative need or dare. I need not go. If you use the word need in positive way, I need to go, you will use to. If you use need in a negative way, I need not go, you will not use the word to. Likewise, dare you act like her, if you're using it as again a form of you can say imperative. It is an instruction that you're giving. Dare you act like her. Again, for this sentence, we'll not be using to. Whenever you're using a dummy it in a sentence, you will use infinitives along with it. Dummy it would mean that you can do away with that it word also by reframing it in other way. But whenever you have that it in a sentence which is just acting as a dummy, it does not have any specific significance. In that case, you will have to use an infinitive along with it. So it is our duty to respect our elders. It here is a dummy. Why is it a dummy? Because I can always reframe it as to respect our elders is a duty. So if I choose to use the dummy it in a sentence, I will put it as it is our duty to respect our elders. Likewise, it is difficult to live without pure water. I can reframe it without using the dummy it, like to live without pure water is difficult. But if I choose to use it, it is difficult to live. So to live becomes an infinitive. Then it is illegal to detain a woman at night. It is illegal to detain a woman at night. I can reframe it as to detain a woman at night is illegal. If I choose to use it, it'll be it is illegal, and with it I will be using the infinitive to detain. Similarly, use of infinitives with WH words. I don't know what to say. With the WH word here is what. How, tell me where to go. Where, again a WH word. So with WH word you will use an infinitive to go. I wonder who to call. Who, WH word. To call, infinitive. Do you know how to swim? How, H word. So to swim. So WH words, the words that start with W or H, will have the usage of infinitives. Now, these are certain examples which will help you clear your doubts. To err is human. To make mistakes is human, that means. So to err is human. Err here is acting as a subject because it is placed at the initial part of the sentence. It is acting as a subject, and err here becomes an infinitive. Ria always wanted to act. So what did she want? She wanted to act. So it is acting as a direct object to the word want, act. The friend to trust is Shweta. It is acting as an adjective to trust. Whom will you be trusting? So that answer is given by the word adjective, which is trust. So the friend, it is directly pointing out at the friend, which is a noun. Those are the easiest dogs to train. Again, train here, it is acting as an adjective here because it is to modify the verb, the noun, which is dogs. He has a great ability to paint. This particular to paint modifies ability, which is a noun again. Therefore, it is acting as an adjective. The team was slow to score. Slow again is an adjective. What was slow? The team was slow. So slow is an adjective, is an adjective. So here to score is acting as an adverb. My grandmother has come to stay. Why has my grandmother come? To stay. So come is a verb and this to stay is modifying the verb come. Therefore, it is acting again as an adverb. We were asked to memorize the rules. It is again used as a direct object just after the verb. He was eager to experience college. Now, for what was he eager? To experience college. It is acting as an adverb. To leave town is relaxing. To leave, it is acting as a subject. So therefore, subject here would mean noun, either a noun or a pronoun, but here the subject means noun. So that is why we can infer from each of these examples that verbals, that is infinitives, are verbals which are acting as different part of speech. They are acting as either a subject or an object. Both, in both cases, it may be either a noun or a pronoun. It may act as an adjective. It may also act as an adverb. Okay, one very important thing here: to the school and to swim. So to the school also has the word to swim also has the word to. Of these, only one is an infinitive, the other is not. Now, whenever you have such kind of words that have to in them, please do not blindly say that, okay, because the thing has to, therefore it is an infinitive. It is not like that. It always has to be a verb and not any other part of speech. If you notice, to the school, school is a place, it is a noun. So here, to is acting as a prepositional phrase. It is giving you the position of the noun. So it is acting as a prepositional phrase. To swim, swim is a verb, therefore to swim is acting as an infinitive. Therefore, whenever you have the usage of the word to in any sentence, try to find out what word is put after the word to. It has to be a verb and no other part of speech. Also, whenever it is a verb and it is acting as some other part of speech, will you be calling it as a verbal or an infinitive in this case? With this, we come to the end of infinitives. In the lectures to come, we'll be discussing gerunds and participles and their types. Also, we'll take on more examples to make the concept clear to you, and which will also help you in identifying whether the sentence has infinitive in them, or whether the sentences have gerunds in them or participles in them. Happy learning. Thank you so much.